Today, Israel's Security Cabinet meets to decide the next phase of the war against Hamas. At stake is the future of Gaza and the fate of hostages.
Meanwhile, a German newspaper is exposing how the international media is falling for Hamas propaganda.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is convening the Security Cabinet Thursday to strategize how to achieve the final goals of the war, the complete defeat of Hamas and freeing the remaining hostages. The campaign may include 5 IDF divisions. It could last 5 months and involve a relocation of up to 1 million Gazans. Jonathan Conricus of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies tells CBN News Israel stands at a crossroads.
I would say that it's money time. It's either do or die. It's either we bow to international pressure and lose the war, and the direct result of October 7 massacre will be that Hamas gets recognition for a Palestinian state, which will be a total catastrophe and failure, and I pray that that is not what will happen.
This morning, U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee announced the administration's plans to fund a dozen or more new aid distribution centers in Gaza. This, as the German publication Bild exposed that many photos of starving Gazans have been staged, a report cited by Israeli President Isaac Herzog.
We see a PR campaign like this one. This is from yesterday by German media. You see a photographer staging Gaza people to show that they are lacking food, whilst there's food there behind them. But this is a staging effort.
I saw the report by Bild, and I wasn't surprised. I've seen this for 15, 20 years of Gazan or otherwise Palestinian photographers, some of them working for reputable news agencies like Reuters, AFP, AP, and many others. They doctor images, they orchestrate them, and the term Gaza wood or Pallywood wasn't invented this war. It's something that has been going on for decades, if not more than a generation. The Palestinians are really masterful at not only fabricating visuals and imagery, but also knowing who to peddle it to and to find the useful and lazy idiots in international media to use it and then to shape hearts and minds and even get real-world results.
Gaza wood or Pollywood refers to how Hamas and others stage scenes to manipulate the media.
Sadly, Hamas is manipulating international media. Really, they have them around their little finger, feeding them, baked stories and cooked images.
President Trump has said there's real starvation in Gaza, and he appeared deeply troubled by images of starving children. Have you been similarly moved?
I'm moved when the photos are verified,
But they are real images.
Oh, I think that there are certainly people suffering in Gaza. It's happening because Hamas has not allowed the food to get to the people who are hungry.
We spoke to the World Food Programme,
Yeah.
and they have not been shown any evidence of this at all. What they're saying,
I'm shocked they would say that.
Ambassador, the US has thrown its support and money behind GHF.
It's a U.S. program.
And yes, it's a US program. And yet, every single day, there are people dying near GHF sites.
Tell me about the people dying at the GHF sites. In what way?
So you have no reports of anybody being killed near a GHF
No,
site?
we've had reports that there have been incidences, but forgive me if I'm a little skeptical when someone says, these people are being killed at the GHF sites. And if there was some random shooting of people who are coming for food, those people would be consequenced severely.
Increasingly strong language is being used about Israel's prosecution of this war, including from Israeli organizations. They've been accused of genocide.
If Israel is attempting genocide, they're really, really bad at it. They could have had genocide on October the 8th. If they were trying to commit genocide, it would not have taken them 22 months to do it.
This morning, new details after 5 soldiers were shot at Fort Stewart by another soldier in their own unit.
They have an active shooter on Fort Stewart.
We have identified the alleged shooter as Sergeant Cornelius Radford.
The suspect, a 28-year-old from Jacksonville, Florida. Radford has never been on a combat deployment and used a personal handgun to open fire, according to military officials. The commanding general of the 3rd Infantry Division applauding nearby soldiers who tackled him.
These soldiers, without a doubt, prevented further casualties.
According to Fort Stewart, law enforcement was dispatched shortly before 11 a.m., the base commander issuing a lockdown 8 minutes later. By 11:09, medical personnel were on the way. And at 11:35, the lone shooter was in custody. The suspect was arrested for a DUI in May, the general saying that his chain of command was unaware of the charge and that Sergeant Radford had no known disciplinary issues in his 7.5 years of service.
The Army Criminal Investigation Division is on site to ensure that the perpetrator of this atrocity, which is exactly what it is, will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
The injured soldiers were treated at the military hospital on base. 3 needed surgery, and all are expected to recover, according to the general. Fort Stewart is the largest U.S. Army base east of the Mississippi River, with 21,000 active duty soldiers. In 2022, there was another shooting at the same base when Sergeant Nathan Hillman, a nuclear specialist, was killed by another soldier. That murder case is still pending. Both the 2022 shooting and the one Wednesday morning involved the same division, the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team.
This morning, the country is combating wild weather from coast to coast, from dangerous downpours to out-of-control wildfires to oppressive heat. Over 30 million Americans are under heat alerts today.
It is really hot right now.
The summer temps reaching sweltering highs, expected to smash records from Colorado to California. And it's unbelievably hot in Arizona. Phoenix melted its previous record high on Wednesday, reaching 116 degrees, and expected to go even higher today. Firefighters telling us they're on standby with these cold water immersion bags to treat people suffering from heat stroke. Crews use one on this man who collapsed in over 100-degree heat while hiking.
Once we start reaching that 110, 115-degree weather, people need to take every precaution before going out in the heat.
The relentless heat fueled red flag warnings and the potential for wildfires. Across the West, more than 40 large fires are actively burning, including this one in California that has charred more than 90,000 acres. Near the Grand Canyon, the 7th largest blaze in state history is still growing. While further east, rising water is the problem. In the Carolinas, another day of heavy rain and flash floods taking a fatal turn. Authorities in Nash County say 2 people were swept away and drowned after their car was trapped in high waters as the dangerous weather continues from coast to coast.
With lightning speed, the wildfire has devoured an area bigger than the city of Paris. Forests and villages alike have succumbed, with many more in its path. Residents and tourists forced to flee. In this corner of southwest France, houses have been reduced to smoking ruins. Many roads are closed, and despite the intense efforts of firefighters, conditions may well worsen before they improve. This blaze alone has already consumed as much land as was destroyed by wildfires in France in 2024, while more than doubling the destruction wrought in 2023.
It is important to know that the risk of fire is greatest in the Mediterranean. In France, this is the hottest and the driest area of France. But with climate change, these fire risks are expected to become more significant during the summer.
Much now will depend on wind direction, either slowing these flames or fanning them in multiple directions, as fire crews describe a disaster of unprecedented scale.
Rescue teams are racing to find survivors in northern India after flash floods swept through the mountain villages in Uttarakhand state. Dozens of people are still missing, including soldiers who were part of the rescue operation. From the air, the scale of destruction is clear. The state's chief minister has visited areas inundated by water and debris.
Around 130 people were rescued last night. The search operation continues unabated. Due to bad weather, road connectivity has been lost at various places and some bridges have been damaged, so it is getting hard to get in there.
The popular tourist town of Dharauli was among the worst hit when the mountainside gave way. On the ground, teams used zip lines over gushing waters where bridges once stood, and heavy machinery has been deployed to shift boulders blocking access. The state of Uttarakhand is in India's Himalayan region. It's seen similar disasters in recent years. Experts say it is becoming vulnerable to extreme weather patterns caused by climate change.
A supposed comet is catching the attention of some of the nation's most renowned scientists, as one Harvard professor is raising the theory this may actually be a piece of alien technology. According to renowned theoretical physicist Professor Avi Loeb, the comet is on an extremely unusual path, moving too fast to be bound by the sun's gravity, breaking a typically seen orbital trajectory. And while this comet poses no current threat, Professor Loeb believes more data should be collected to uncover the nature of this object and whether it has the potential to create risks in the future. Joining us now to discuss more is that scientist himself, Harvard professor of science and author of Extraterrestrial, the First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth, Avi Loeb. So Professor Loeb, your recent paper suggests that this object might actually be alien technology rather than just another comet. What exactly about the speed, the trajectory, the behavior leads you to consider this as a possibility?
Well, first, it's relatively bright for its distance, implying that if it's a solid object, it has to be 20 kilometers in diameter. That's twice as big as the giant asteroid that killed the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. And the previous objects we saw from interstellar space were only hundreds of meters in size. So there is just not enough rocky material in interstellar space to provide us with a 20-kilometer rock that appears once per decade. More importantly, the trajectory is very unusual. It's aligned with the orbit of the Earth around the sun, and the chance of that happening is 1 in 500. And then the timing of its arrival is very fine-tuned because it comes very close to Jupiter, to Mars, and to Venus. And the chance of that happening is 1 in 20,000. And moreover, it's moving in the opposite direction to the motion of the Earth around the sun. And when it will come closest to the sun, the Earth would be on the opposite side. So we won't be able to observe it. That's the point in time when it can do a maneuver with the aid of the sun's gravity. And that will happen on October 29th.
One day, Jesus is coming. You may be at church. You may be at work. You may be asleep. God grant that you will be ready when he makes his personal appearance. My God, what if his appearance